What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Marvin Oria, Atlanta real estate agent with the Black Star Equity Group team, brokered by eXp Realty, and we are here for another video. I am really focused on pushing myself in this season because I really believe that we all have something inside of us that's meant to be a blessing to somebody else. And my hope and my prayer is that if this content helps you, whether you are a aspiring real estate investor, real estate agent, entrepreneur, or someone that just wants to honestly get the courage and the tips and strategies to escape the 9 to 5. And I say escape tongue in cheek because obviously 9 to 5 is a blessing. It's a blessing to have a job. So I want to talk about for today's show avoiding burnout in real estate. That's what this is all about. And again, my name is Marvin Oria, Atlanta Realtor with Black Star Equity Group team, brokered by eXp Realty. If you're a real estate agent or real estate professional that is not getting the support and the things you need from your broker, I'd love to talk about partnering with myself personally and the team and how we can help you level up and get the majority of converting leads from social media as well as YouTube and Facebook. So that's how I get 95% of my leads, is by putting out helpful content like this, being a blessing to others. And I can show you how to do that as well if you'd be interested in partnering with our agent equity program. So shoot me a DM or send me an email if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, and I'd love to talk, have a conversation with you. So we're talking about avoiding burnout in real estate. Let me pose that question. Are you in any capacity dealing with any level of burnout? If you've done this long enough, the answer is unequivocally, absolutely. This business will pull you in every which direction, and it is the only job that I know that legally you can work more than 40 hours a week and not be guaranteed any kind of income. And that causes a lot of individuals, unfortunately, who get into this business with the mindset of a Gary Vee or Ryan Serhant, or insert whoever the top real estate professional is in your sphere. And these folks make it look incredibly easy. But if you've been doing this long enough, as I mentioned, you're going to have seasons where you were feeling burnt out. And my hope and my objective for today's video is that you walk away with some actionable nuggets, strategies that will help you when you are feeling that burnout approaching. It'll help you really redirect and do the things necessary to stay in the game, because you are in this business to be a blessing to someone. There is somebody out there that would not get the experience that they would get in the problem solved the way that it needs to be solved without your direct influence. And so I don't want anyone getting burnt out if you are able to walk away with some actionable nuggets to help you avoid that. So what is burnout and where does it come from? Personally, I blame hustle culture. If you watch enough YouTube, you know that there are hundreds of thousands of pages and YouTube and Instagram channels that talk about, hustle culture and how you got to just grind your face off and you got to just put in 12, 15-hour days, and that's the way that you're going to succeed. And as well-meaning, and it is motivating, to see your favorite Les Brown clip or Gary Vee, and you hear them tell you the things that you got to do. You got to, practice. Practice doesn't make perfect. I know a lot of Les Brown quotes because I'm always told I kind of look like him. Let me know in the comments if I kind of favor Les Brown. I've been told that I do. But, it's all about the hustle in this particular season that we're in. And social media is to blame for that. In this world, it does look like the ones that are okay with an uneven work-life balance, the individuals that take their time away from their family and they don't spend time with their family because they tell themselves, well, look, I got to do what I got to do right now so that we can benefit in the future. And, when this happens, all of this is going to be worth it. Missing the baseball games, or missing time with your spouse or your special loved one, missing those birthdays, all of it's going to be worth it as long as you let me just hustle and do what needs to be done right now. But I have been alive long enough to know that you might think you've got the time to make certain changes later on in your life. But unfortunately, that hustle culture is diametrically opposed to a healthy life. Our nervous system, our heart, our brain, the things that make our body run, is not meant to have an unhealthy amount of stress on it for long periods of time. You hear about people that are in their early, 40s and 50s getting brain aneurysms and, heart attacks in their 50s and things of that nature. And I ask myself, in the world of, Red Bull, Monster, 4 and 5 cups of coffee, all that stuff, and just that, I got to do the things I got to do to keep my body up, so that I can reach that goal again, because it's hustle culture. If it's not causing the problem to begin with, and these individuals not seeing the benefits of the hustle that they've grinded so long for, because unfortunately they're not here. And so when those individuals reach that goal to the detriment of their personal health, their mental wellness, their relationships, all that jazz, was it really worth it? Personally, I don't think so. So I say that hustle culture is dying. And it's a good thing. It's a part of the game. It's something that needs to happen, because we all need to realize that, the race is not given to the swift. It's given to those that endure till the end. And that is not cliche by any stretch of the imagination. That is scripture. That is what it says in the good book. So in order to endure, what does that mean? You've got to take moments where you push pause, you make adjustments, you take pit stops. Heck, even in NASCAR races, the cars don't go in a circle the entire time. They take those moments, the car makes those pit stops where all of the other, support system for the racer, they change the tires, they change the oil, they put fuel in it, they do all the things necessary throughout the race, so that when the driver gets back on the road, he's back to operating at a high level, because he took those moments to stop, to let the engine cool a little bit and things of that nature, and to get the treatment, if you will, that the vehicle, requires in order for it to go the entire extent of the race. So I'm a big proponent, guys and girls, of something I like to call pattern interrupting. And let me know in the comments if you know what pattern interrupt is. But pattern interrupt is essentially pushing the brakes, pushing pause, hitting the hazard lights, pulling off to the side of the road because you're going so fast, and making some adjustments. Pattern interrupt is a word. I didn't come up with that word. I heard it from somewhere a very long time ago. And it's something that I incorporate in my personal life, in my marriage. And I cannot tell you how important it is to just push pause sometimes and redirect your energy and do something absolutely different than the monotony that you have been going through in the previous, 7 days of the week or whatever the case is. And that pattern interrupt is really going to help you long term, because unfortunately, if you do not take those breaks, your life is going to reflect that. Your life is going to be uneven. You are going to have an unhealthy level of stress that you are not supposed to be dealing with, but because you are not creating those moments, aka that pattern interrupt. And I mean it in let me just give a very practical example. A pattern interrupt could be something as simple as, in the middle of your week, going to the movies. I mean, the movie theaters right now, because of all this streaming and all that going on, the movie theaters would love to get patronized. And it's something relaxing from a meditation standpoint. I'm big on that. It's something relaxing about literally just sitting in a movie theater for 3 hours or however long you're there, and just chilling and not doing anything, just literally watching a movie in the middle of the day. And look, and when you walk out of that movie theater, how do you feel afterwards? 9 times out of 10, you feel refreshed. You're like, okay, cool. I disconnected. Like for me, I'm a big Marvel guy, so whatever Marvel movie is out there, I'll my wife and I and our daughter, we normally go. But if it's not possible for all of us to go, I've told myself, I got to take those days, because my industry, it has those moments where it's super, super busy. And then there's the slow times. And so when it gets super, super busy, I go to the movies, or I go get me some Chipotle. Chipotle is my happy place. If you didn't know, if you follow me on social media at Soul by Marvin, you know this, because I'm always talking about my affinity for Chipotle. But it's all about the pattern interrupting and doing the things to kind of just change your frame of reference, change your mindset, just get yourself in a different environment from a mental wellness standpoint. That way you do not have that breakdown, because the breakdown is going to happen if you don't take those moments to pattern interrupt. And so for you, like I said, it could be going shopping. It could be, I mentioned the movies. It could be treating yourself to something from Marshalls or Ross or TJ Maxx. For me, I'm a sneaker guy, as well as a bit of a techie. So I might go look at, the latest pair of shoes that are out. But I try to do something if I feel that I'm getting a little too stressed out in my day, to kind of mix things up. I may even go for a run. And that's something that, is going to definitely benefit me from a health and wellness standpoint. When I'm running in the various trails here in Atlanta, Georgia, I feel incredibly close to nature. I feel like I'm in a place of stillness, because the only thing that I can hear is the birds, the chipmunks that's chasing me on my run, or whatever the case is. But it's something very, very peaceful about literally going on a run in the in the evening, or for me, I typically go in the mornings. But that is a pattern interrupt that kind of helps me reset and get ready for the day in question. So ask yourself that: what are the things that I can do to kind of just mix things up when I feel things getting stressed out in my personal life? Because you're no good to anybody if you're not at your best. And if you're getting value from the conversation so far, please, please, please let me know. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments, what are some of the things that you personally do for pattern interrupting, if that's something that's already a part of your business. And I'm always looking for some cool ideas for things to do. The next thing you can do when you are dealing with a little bit of burnout is to be of service to someone else. When you realize that it is not about you, it is about the impact that you are assigned to provide while you are on this earth, it really helps you operate every day with a high level of intention. Because we are not meant to be on this earth for just our pleasures and the things that we enjoy, and that's it. Me, my four, no more. We're always, 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 our whole purpose on this earth, I truly believe, is to be of service to as many people out there as possible. So some of the things that you could do if you're a real estate professional, for example, is look for another realtor that you can assist with something they got going on. If you're looking for a pattern interrupt, trust me, having a conversation, a coffee or something with an up and coming real estate professional, if you're in this industry, and asking them what are some of the areas that they need help with, AKA being of service to someone else because you've been doing this for 3, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, is going to make you feel good. And do it without expectation. That's also super important. Helping without expectation, because we live in a world, unfortunately, where everyone is always out to get something for themselves, or if they're helping you, it's because they are expecting something in return. And so I'm all about helping without expectation. All I ask is for a thank you. That's it. That's all I say. If you tell me, if you give me a thanks, that's really all I can ask for. If I'm being of service to you, I'm doing this not because I'm expecting you to give me a pat on the back, but because I personally need this. I need to help someone else because that fills my cup by filling someone else's cup. So that's something that you can think about doing if you're feeling a little bit of burnout. And another thing that you can also look at is writing down the triggers that lead up to the moment that you feel burnt out. I didn't put that in my notes here, but the good Lord just gave me that thought process that, usually before we burn out, there are a series of triggers that are going on. And when we don't catch those triggers in enough time, then it leads to the burnout, then it leads to the breakdown, and then it leads to, in some instances, depression and things of that nature. So journaling is always a good idea. If you're not feeling super great in a particular day, writing down the factors that you believe contributed to that. If it was a buyer standing you up for a showing, if it was a deal that fell through that you were really expecting on, because, we're always budgeting the money that we're getting. We spend that money before we get it. If you've been in this industry, you let me know in the comments if you know exactly what I'm talking about. As they used to say, holler if you hear me. And when that deal doesn't go through for whatever reason, you can really feel like, man, why am I doing this? Man, I need to just go get me another job. I could be dealing with something else that pays me a lot more consistently without all this stress. I could just go get me a 9-to-5 or whatever. That is the burnout creeping in. So you have to be very, very cognizant of that and making it a point to document the things that lead up to those moments where you're feeling like that. And so I always say, when you are dealing with that, be kind to yourself. Be extremely kind to yourself. You did not bring you into this world. You do not determine when you leave this world. Those are two things that have the most impact on your life that you have zero control over. So if your day doesn't go the way that you may have set out for it to go, forgive yourself. Know the areas. I'm big on taking extreme ownership, which is a good book by Jocko Willink. Take extreme ownership for the areas where you could have come up higher. Maybe you lost that deal because you didn't articulate certain expectations to your client, or maybe you took on a client that you really shouldn't have taken on, but because you felt like you needed the business, you did what you felt you needed to do, and now you feel horrible because you have no client and you have no business. Any number of things, whatever it is, be kind to yourself. I'm not going to get super preachy here, but the only person that I know that's perfect died on a cross 2,000 years ago. So if I know that I'm not perfect and I could never measure up to that standard of perfection, then although I know the areas that I need to come up higher and do better and things of that nature, and that will come in time, do not beat yourself up when things are not going a certain kind of way. Let me know in the comments if you have those moments where, unfortunately, you get down on yourself and you really beat yourself up, and it's not healthy. And a lot of times, if you've heard of the book, and I'm gonna keep talking about books because that's what it's all about. There's wisdom in books. The 4 Agreements by Paulo Coelho, I think is his name. He talks about a lot of the things that we get down on ourselves about were things that others that came before us spoke over us, and essentially he used the word spells. It was a spell that was cast over us by someone else, and that person, who is also imperfect, pushed their insecurities, projected their fears and their doubt and all that on you, and now you carry that weight. You've carried that weight into your personal and professional life and your career, and now you are what you believe others have spoken over you. And I'm here to break those chains for today's Friday call, or whenever you're catching this. So if you are feeling a level of burnout, and that's just to, we're going to land the plane here. If you're feeling a level of burnout, remind yourself that it's important to get that pattern interrupt going. Do something to mix up that day to take your mind off of your problems. Look for ways to be of service to somebody else. Go help somebody. There's somebody out there that could use your help in some capacity. Trust me, there's somebody in your immediate sphere of influence. It could be volunteering somewhere. It could be hosting an event for up and coming real estate professionals, a networking event, just so you can get around other people. It could be going to your place of worship and spending some time in community from a spiritual standpoint. But look for those opportunities to be of service to someone else. And then, of course, be kind to yourself. You're going to be all right. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is the human body and the human experience. So if you're kind to yourself, you remind yourself of this, then I promise you, you're gonna be all right. You are gonna be okay. And if you got value from this, 20 or so minutes, that we've been on here on today's live. Like I said, I'm gonna do more of these, and this channel is gonna get better and better every single time. This is all about getting my reps in as a content creator. If you're getting value from this, let me know in the comments below what stuck out to you, what you appreciated, and what nuggets you're going to execute and implement on. And until the next live stream, this is your boy Marvin Oria, Atlanta Realtor, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.